give it up to the youth. Loyal to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we run it, your squad versus ours. Now they don't really want it. Authentic bitch deep with pros in abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming. Let's give it up to the youth. Loyal to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we run it, your squad versus ours. Now they don't really want it. Authentic bitch deep with pros in abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming.
What's good? Alright, Miami fans, it's been a minute since I dropped a video for y'all, but since I haven't, it's Memorial Day weekend. Salute to everybody, salute to all the armed forces. Just want to bring y'all a little update. Miami seems like they continue to be on the roll when it comes to commits and transfer. That's why I call Miami the king of transfers. Somebody just tell me that, hey, they ain't the king of transfer, but guess what? In my eye, I feel they're the king of transfers because they got people that wants to come and play for the University of Miami. If you look at last year to this year, they've done a lot better. They have done a lot better. Now, Mario Cristobal and the Hurricanes have, and I got this report from 247.com Inside the U, which always drops some really good information. If not, you always could check out my man Alex Donald for Locked On Hurricanes. He always brings some good stuff too. So now Miami has locked on their fourth commitment from either Dade or Broward County with Miami Columbus defensive lineman Daylen Russell, who pledged to the university over the weekend. Now Russell is a 6 foot, 235 pound, but is reportedly pushing for 270 mark these days and had made his mark at one of the Florida's most premier 4M programs. With that being said, I think like Mario knew last year when his first season with the University of Miami that you're going to have to battle in the trenches. The trenches is where it's going to establish on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. If you've seen what he has did in the transfer portal and also into recruiting, he established the inside game. The inside game from the inside. How you think that Ohio State, how you think Alabama, how you think Georgia, they all be so dominant because they established in the trenches. The trenches is the most important part of your team. Even in pro football, if you don't establish the trenches, then you can't sustain drives long. You can't develop long-lasting plays. You can't get the explosive plays that you want on offense. And even if you don't establish the line and on the defense end, you can't get to the quarterback. You can't stop the run. You can't get sacks. So therefore, there will be so much pressure on a less experienced or undersized defensive line or offensive line. And we seen that last year with the Miami Hurricanes, where they couldn't hold up on the offensive front because they wasn't stout enough. Tyler Van Dyke ended up getting hurt when he because we couldn't stop the rush. Our running game was suspect because we couldn't get there was no scheme. We couldn't get the ball down the field like we wanted to. Even on the defensive end, we couldn't stop the run, which we had a problem with the run for the last few years. So there's a lot of different things that plague Miami, and I think Mario is doing exactly what he needs to do, is establish the trenches on both sides of the ball. Now Russell, he was credited with 3 sacks and 6 tackles during his spring showcase on Friday night. But there are a number of connections between Columbus and the University of Miami. Here, Coach Mario Cristobal played at that high school for the Explorers. Offensive line coach Alex Mirabal and general manager Alonzo Highsmith, they both played a role in recruiting Russell to the Miami Hurricanes. Now, that was very important because the main part of the Columbus brotherhood with these guys, you know what I'm saying? And he feels like University of Miami will bring that as well. It would be amazing to get him to the alum who plays with the for Columbus, and Coach Mirabal also played at the U, Russell said. So it's all about having relationships, establishing great relationships and everything like that. He also tells that he needs to fix on his weakness as a coach, and he's real with you. So and that's what Mario and the other coaches, like, if you know that a player has a weakness and you tell them that they need to fix it, then that's what they're supposed to go out and do, and fix that and make sure that it's a success. You know what I'm saying? So Louisville and Nebraska were the other two schools that was looking strongly at Russell doing his process, but he chose the Canes, but isn't ruling out taking some visits this summer to check out other places. But he said he still set up some official visits to see with his mom and all of that. But right now, he's fully locked in with the University of Miami. What he said. Russell was named Miami Herald, Miami-Dade County Defensive Player of the Year from the 4M, 3M classification after totaling 62 tackles, 8 coming off losses, and 8 sacks in the state title win against Acapulco. Russell was credited with a pair of tackles for loss and a sack and a forced fumble that gave his team the ball back late in the game to secure a victory. So like I said, Miami is also looking to do some great things on the defensive line, and I think solidifying, beefing up that defensive line, having more pressure, because you got to think they got guys there that's been there, and you need rotational players also. Especially, you don't need to wear them out, because it's not like the NFL where you could have a guy that could probably play 2 or 3 downs. I mean, one to 3 downs. You really want a guy that, you say, hey, your main guys play the first 2 downs. Then you rotate them out or whatever at later the game, or however it is. So it's really, I think it's really beneficial that way. Now, Miami also locked in on another transfer, which like I said, Miami has been getting these transfers. These guys been coming in there, and lo and behold, the one now, when I say this name, you pretty much going to have to connect the dots. The transfer that they have, his name is Lou Cristobal. Yes, another Cristobal. If y'all don't know him, that is Mario's nephew, and he plays at Georgia State. He's an offensive lineman. He listed at 6 foot 274 right now. And he was also the Panthers' highest grade pass blocker with a 7.9 grade out of 367 snaps according to Pro Football Focus. That's not bad at all. As a run blocker, Cristobal was credited with a 52.6 grade. As a transfer, Cristobal has offers from Western Kentucky, Troy, Jacksonville State, Utah State, Liberty, Jacksonville State, and Central Michigan, among others. So, but nevertheless, Mario got his nephew to commit to the U. And like I say, that's more balance in the trenches with the offensive line. I mean, you could tell that he has a high grade when it comes to pass blocking. And that's what we need, especially when you want your main quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, to sit up in the pocket and deliver these bombs to these receivers. Move around in the pocket, and the longer the quarterback is sitting in the pocket, that gives the receivers enough time to really get open, or give the quarterback enough time. Even if you have a draw play out of the passing game where your running backs could eat up a chunk of yardage. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's good. After starting 5 games at left guard for the Sun Belt program in 2022, Cristobal is expected to work as a center and work along the interior offensive line under his uncle and offensive line coach Alex Mirabal. That's great, because now you shifting him from left guard to center and to the interior lineman, because you want to. The interior alignment is the meat of the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Between the center and the guard. So you want to set that foundation up like that. And it's a great thing because they're going to work with him. He's going to be probably one. I look for this guy to shine. He might not start, but he'll probably be a rotational player that comes in and establishes himself. And maybe in another year or so, he could start. You know what I'm saying? Also, Miami also added UCF center Matt Lee and Alabama guard Javon Cohen along the offensive front this offseason, as well as a pair of prize true freshman tackles, Francis Malanga, who is set to start at the right side, and Samson Olakonga. So Cristobal is already on campus at Miami and believes to be in the 295 range. So that's great. To me, that's awesome. I love what I'm seeing from Miami right now. I'm going to bring more Miami content this football season, so I'll be focusing more, on my Washington Commanders and my Miami Hurricanes this season a lot more, like I did a year or so ago, to bring a lot of great content. But like I said, I love what I've seen from Miami right now, beefing up the offensive line, continue beefing up the defensive line still, and especially on the offensive line, when you got a guy that playing left guard, but you want him to play center and some part of the interior, then you having flexibility. Then you have guys that could play different positions and solidify the offensive line like it's need to. I think the running game is going to be very, very explosive this year. I think the passing game with Tyler Van Dyke is going to be very beneficial. I do believe Tyler Van Dyke will get some Heisman considerations. Depends on how well Miami do this year. Some people don't think they'll have a great win season, but I do believe Miami could push Florida State and Clemson this year for the top of the ACC. And if they could beat either one of them and finish at the top, then that'd be a great successful season for them. I just think that Mario and the whole coaching staff for the University of Miami is not done yet by a long shot. There's going to be some more guys committing. There's going to be some more guys there. Miami keep doing this, they could have themselves another top 7 ranking and recruiting. So stay tuned for more Miami. Like I said, stay tuned for more Miami Hurricanes content. Please check out Inside the U. I will have that article to both of these guys in the description box below so you can read it. And also I will make sure that I continue to bring the best and the brightest of content across this channel for anything y'all looking forward to. Until then, guys, go you, stay safe, be blessed.